When it comes to real estate, is it hot August nights? Well, some things are and some things aren't. So let's dive into it so you know exactly what's going on in the real estate market here in Orange County, California. I'm Jim with the Bishop team, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, your leading realtors here in Orange County, California. So today we're going to look at some key market indicators, as you'll see on the screen, things like supply and demand as they relate to the real estate market, what that does to pricing, and might be some interest rate information in there as well. So one of the things that we like to do for you is to keep you up to date on what's actually happening here in the Orange County real estate market. You hear a lot of things on the national news, but real estate is local and sometimes it goes together and sometimes it does not. Let's dive in. So starting with our supply, or the number of homes for sale. Back in 2019, we had just over 3,000 homes for sale in South Orange County. And then as we got into 2020, 21, you can see the inventory drop did pop up a little bit in 2022. And then in 2023, we're back to the low level, the record lows we saw in 2021. So that's our supply. We're down 72% from 2019 and 42% from 2022 last year. Part of the factor here is the number of new listings coming on the market. Back in 2019, this is kind of a typical year. You got the number of homes coming on, peaking about May, and then tapering off the rest of the year. 2022, we actually peaked in April. As you may remember, the interest rates caused a shift in the market started in about May, and so the number of homes coming on the market went down a little bit earlier than normal. And then if you look at 2023, the numbers are even lower. Now, we haven't had as big a drop off as you might see normally. We peaked in June and we're not too far below that in July. So that's contributing to our low supply. So if you look at year to date, back to 2019, you had almost 11,000 through July coming on the market. In 2023, we're down 57% from that to under 5,000 homes. So let's look at demand as measured by escrow. In 2019, the homes in escrow, and that's a typical year where the homes peak in about May. You can see about 1,400 homes. Last year, again, with that shift in interest rates, we peaked in March at a lower number. And then this year, we've peaked in April, but we haven't dropped too much from there until July dropped a little bit, not even 100 below April, but holding a little bit more steady in the demand. So the demand is there, it's just we don't have much supply. So if you look at a comparison between the two, you've got again your numbers that went down in the supply, and then if you look at the demand relative to the supply, 2020 was really hot, and then 2021 is when demand outstripped supply by a lot, and then this year pretty close, actually closer than even last year. So our inventory again is down 72%. Escrows are only down 46%, which is a huge number, but in comparison, it's not down as much as inventory. So supply is constraining demand. And then another measure that we track is closed sales. So here you can see back in 2019, closed sales peaking in May. In 2022, peaked a little bit earlier in April. And then this year in 2023, peaked in May, but not falling off quite as much, although 2019 held pretty steady. Normally you'd hold steady May, June, July, sometimes into August. In a normal year where you don't have a major shift in interest rates, those numbers will hold fairly steady through the summer, like we're seeing in 2023. Supply and demand, we need to look at the two together. So the blue line is inventory. Back in 2019, you had 3,000 homes for sale, a little over 1,000 in escrow. That's a relatively normal ratio. But then back in 2020, you see where those lines switch, they become inverted. More homes in escrow than for sale. That's an extremely hot market. So that lasted all of 2021 and into 2022. And then after the interest rate spike in 2022, we actually went back to an inverted market for part of this year. And you can see at the end on the right, those numbers are diverging a little bit. But if you look at this, there's the points of inflection. But if you look at the index lines here, you can see in the red, that's kind of COVID. We went end of 2020, we went into that inversion. Even at 50% more homes in escrow than for sale. And then when interest rates spiked, you went up to 150%, meaning there's like 2.5 homes for sale for every one in escrow. And then we came crashing back down at the beginning of this year. We're at about 30%, meaning there's 130 homes for sale for every 100 in escrow. Still really, really tight inventory. So what has that done to pricing? That's the question everybody wants to know. We peaked in spring of 2022 and with interest rates, and we dropped. That was for South Orange County. Now let's look at some individual cities just to give you an idea. Here's Laguna Niguel. Again, a drop back to within almost 1%, just a hair below what the peak was. And this is an average dollar per square foot. Irvine, you can see the orange line, we're actually slightly above, 3% above the peak back from 2022. And then Laguna Hills, a little bit more volatility. See how the line isn't as smooth? And that's because there's fewer transactions than when you had some big sales in there where they were $10 million sales, which will skew your numbers. If your average price is more like $1 million, it'll skew the numbers. And so Laguna Hills is actually slightly below, about 7% below the average on a dollar per square foot basis. So still some more room to catch back up, but still very hot. So thank you for checking out the real estate market update here in August of 2023. Real estate is local, so as you saw, one town can be going up and one can be maybe still down a little bit. So if you have any questions about your home or a home that you're looking to buy, give us a call. We can help you navigate the market and make the right move. I'm Jim with the Bishop team, your leading realtors here in Orange County, California.